Now, after Series 6 of Line of Duty reached its dramatic conclusion last night, a record 12.8 million people, the show's biggest ever audience, tuned in to find out the identity of the elusive fourth man. This morning, the actor who played H spoke to BBC News to explain how he reacted to being told he was H. A warning, if you haven't seen the finale and you don't want to know who the criminal mastermind is, now is the time to leave the room.
I was really excited, and we all had our theories, but you never really think it's going to be you. And the problem is I couldn't talk to anyone about it. That was the frustrating thing. I couldn't get on the phone and talk to people about it. I just had to hold my nerve and speak to my wife and just discuss it then, because even then I knew, but I still hadn't read the scripts.
Well, with me now is TV critic Scott Bryan, and also with us Line of Duty super fan Rachel Burns. Welcome both of you. Rachel, did it live up to your expectations?
Absolutely, yeah. I saw it coming with Buckles. I predicted that story arc a few weeks ago, and it didn't disappoint. It really didn't.
Not just that, it must have been really satisfying then that you got it right.
Yeah, it was satisfying for a number of... firstly, that I got my prediction, but also I think it had a very satisfying feeling to the finale. I think a lot of fans have been saying on social media that they've been disappointed, but actually for me, it felt like a proper closure, a proper resolution.
So Scott, as Rachel says, the reaction has been mixed. What do you think as a critic?
I mean, very, very divisive. May I just say, I've not spoken to a single person who actually predicted Buckles, so congratulations for managing to be the very small minority. I think it was a bit of an underwhelming finale. I mean, everyone has their theory, and of course, when their theory doesn't match up to the overall conclusion, people are going to be a little bit disappointed. I was backing sort of a wider conspiracy with Carmichael or something to do with the DCCYs. But essentially, it's trying to make a larger point about sort of institutional corruption can just happen with people failing upwards, and it's not as part of a grand plan. And I like what that was trying to say, but I just found the execution of that, the final episode, the pacing just felt a little bit weird. It was sort of leading up to a big cliffhanger, and then we didn't really find that much about the motives behind it. And then before we know it, we were in the pub. And then that was it. It was sort of wrapped up. So I think some viewers, including myself, I think are feeling a bit of a lack of closure. I think it was interesting that, they've sort of suggested that this is the end, whilst also suggesting that it's not the end at exactly the same time. So I think it'll be interesting to see whether they'll actually be announcing a season 7.
You said, Rachel, it felt like resolution to you. Would you want it to keep going?
Don't stop, please, Jed. Yeah. Give us more. We want a Christmas special with Jesus, Mary, and Joseph and the donkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's still more to go. I think we can still find out more about the cold case investigation. I'd love to see more of Chloe. She's phenomenal, isn't she?
So good.
Scott, you said about whether there's likely to be a sequel or not. I know he's a busy man, isn't he? I mean, if there is going to be one, it's not going to be in time for Christmas, is it?
It is not going to be in time for Christmas, which is going to be sad for the wee donkey. But I think what is, we've got a couple of sort of Jed Mercurio-backed projects coming up on TV over the next year. So that would certainly sort of fill up his time. But, 12.8 million people, that's the highest ratings for a BBC drama since records began in about 2002, according to what's been reported so far. And there's been a statement from Charlotte Moore. She's the chief content officer of the BBC. And she says, quote, "I'm looking forward to having a conversation with the team about where we go next and what the future of the series might be," which is essentially, I'm seeing that as code for, please do another series, please, 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 on behalf of the BBC. I mean, that's my opinion on what that statement's about, but I think the BBC are very keen, at least, for there to be another series. I guess the issue is, does Jed's team want there to be, and when will that be?
Well, they hold the cards, don't they, it seems, so we'll see what happens. Thank you very much, Rachel and Scott.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.